All right, you guys, we are back with a reveal of who did it. So this here, you guys, before we get started, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications, share the video, give the videos a thumbs up, comment down below, all of that stuff, yada, yada, yada. And what do we say about this channel? It is super cheap. It is in your budget because it's $0 per month. So subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into this one. Now this one, I don't know. This woman was something else. Her name was Lynn Turner. So Lynn Turner wanted to be a police officer. So she went and took the exam and everything, but she did not pass the psychological exam. She failed it. So because she couldn't become a police officer, she decided to become a 911 operator. But what she would do is, when she became a 911 operator, she used to go to the local bar where all the police officers hung out and drank at. So she would go there and she met this guy named Glenn Turner. Now, Glenn was like a laid-back type of dude or whatever. People said that Lynn Turner was like really nice looking, like a bombshell almost. And he was just like a, regular schmeggler guy, kind of what they gave me in the episode they was talking about. So they got married. He was super excited about marrying her. You know how it is when you got a trophy wife or what have you. But she had really bad spending habits. Now, her money that she made from a 911 operator, she did not contribute any money to the household. He contributed all the money. But because she would run up the credit cards all the time, then he would have to work like 2 or 3 different jobs just to pay the credit card bills off. But when he got the credit card bills paid off, she would start spending again. And if he ever said anything to her about her spending habits, it was just a big blowout. But he was telling his friends one time when he went to the bar, but she didn't go with him, that he was like pretty exhausted and he didn't know what he was going to do with the whole marriage because it was getting out of hand. They were in debt up to here. So one day, that's when I mentioned that he became sick. So he became sick. Nobody did an autopsy on him when he passed away. He was maybe 50, 51. So they didn't know he was under 50. So they didn't do an autopsy on him. They just said that he had some type of issue and that he died from what that other illness that he had was. And they went on and they buried him. Well, lo and behold, she had a boyfriend on the side. This guy's name was Randy Thompson. So time went on, she had 2 children by him. And this man became sick as well. Now, at first, he had broke his nose. I don't know how his nose got broken. They didn't say that in the episode. And he got a staph infection. So he was super sick. He stayed in the hospital. Finally got himself together, came back home. When he came back home, she made sure that he ate. She took her total time, took some time off of work to totally dedicate to him, that make sure he's back, nursing him back to health. And she gave him some grilled cheese and I think some soup. And she made him keep that down in his stomach. And lo and behold, as I mentioned in the other video, he got super sick behind that. And his friends hadn't seen him in 2 days. And when they did come see him in the 2 days, when they finally came and knocked on his door, they saw him through the window laying on the couch, but he wasn't responding. Nobody sleeps that hard, not unless you're taking the permanent nap. And so they break in and they find him dead. So you know how there's cell phone towers and stuff like that? So the day that they were burying him, from the time that she got into the car, from leaving the funeral home till they were driving to the grave site, she had called the insurance company and they saw it pinging off of the different towers and things. So when they finally did an autopsy on them, I think his family pushed for an autopsy for him because they just didn't feel like something was right with her. Their family really thought she was crazy, but you know how it is when you got somebody that's in love with somebody crazy. If you want to say something, you may say something, but what can you really say? It's their choice of who they're going to be in love with. But if anything ever comes up, first person name on the list was Lynn's name. And so they did an autopsy on him. And on his autopsy, on his kidneys, I believe, either his kidney or his liver, he had crystals. So that right there let them know something is amiss. He had crystals on his kidneys or either his liver. And that is a sure sign that you are giving someone antifreeze. So with that being done, they exhumed the body of the first husband. Now, the first husband, Glenn, the first husband, they had to go through so much legality to even get this person exhumed. So there was a gentleman that was really explaining, like, you have no idea how hard and how much red tape and paperwork it takes, and authorizations it takes just to get a body exhumed. So they got him exhumed, did an autopsy on this gentleman, and they found crystals on his kidneys. And that is how they got Lynn Turner for killing her boyfriend and her husband around maybe the same, no, it wasn't the same time, because she ended up having 2 kids. So within a space of a few years from each other, she killed both of them because she wanted access to money. And if they could not work enough to get her the money, then she made sure she got insurance policy to get the money. She was going to secure the bag. So that story right there, honey, watch who you're dating. And if your family, I wish I would have listened, but I didn't. If your family says something just ain't right, you better fall out of love, pause for a second, tell them let's take a break, something, and figure out what they're talking about, because all the red flags were just there, just waving in these guys' faces, and they didn't move quick enough at all. So you guys, that was the story, and it was on Nancy Grace. It was on Nancy Grace. I'll put it down in the description box for you guys. So that is the Who Did It. The Who Did It will be back on Monday, and on Friday we will have story time. And check out the first video of the video previous to this reveal, and it'll tell you what our lineup is going to be for this channel going forward. You guys, I will see you on Friday. Have an amazing Wednesday, and let's link up again on Fridays. Peace.